I wanted to give persons with disabilities an opportunity to have their say. Last Friday, I launched a survey and want to read to you some of the overwhelming number of responses that I've received. Some of the responses were: disability services are working at reduced capacity due to the fact that the HSE staff are being taken from these services to accommodate the need for additional staff for COVID wards, testing centres, etc. You don't notice what you have lost until it's gone. For those of us with an acquired disability, there is a continuous and overwhelming desire to get back to where we were. Even after decades, we remember what it was like to negotiate the world without pain, the pre-planning of journeys, anticipating distances, nodding to the looks of sympathy when the pain is visible, yet wishing they didn't acknowledge it all. I am a disabled driver living in rural Ireland. No transport, no choice. I work in my nearest town and I had to borrow to purchase my car. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm earning a salary and can afford to pay a loan. It's demoralising to watch the government allocate millions to bail out the FAI and most recently grant millions to the greyhound industry. But if you have a disability, you are not supported. As someone who acquired disability in my 20s and now a wheelchair user, I think that it is what will surprise people most. Most people assume that if this happens, you will be supported by government when in fact you are not. There needs to be legislation introduced to force businesses to become accessible and have appropriate toilet facilities. This is a human rights and dignity issue. Imagine going for a meal with a group of people and you have no use and no toilet facilities. What do? Limit your fluid intake? Go home early? Well, on behalf of my wee man, I would like to highlight the complete lack of consideration given to disabled toilet facilities in public places, hotels, restaurants, etc. The bare minimal amount of space is given. Is it too much to ask for proper, spacious bathroom facilities for disabled folk? Silent pain is the worst. In my Your Say survey, I asked, as a person with a disability, what is positive about being in Ireland? The responses were the doctors. Good doctors, but no help from government. There is very little positive. Everything has to be fought for. All negative. Honestly, I'm not sure. I asked them what needs to change. They need to act, not just sign conventions and then ignore the principles. They know that the disabled are stuck at home and couldn't even get out to protest, which makes the state all the more hypocritical.
Thank you, Deputy.
To treat all of our children equally and provide the same opportunities to all, including those with additional needs. Those are the responses. Taoiseach, I would ask you for something that the government can do. Will you ratify the optional protocol of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities so that persons with disabilities can make complaints to the UN if they want to? No, so there's another take could be made on the slowness we had in ratifying the UN Convention, is that we just wanted to drag our heels. And other countries maybe ratified the convention straight away and it set a benchmark for them to what they had to achieve to make sure that they could achieve it. I would love to think that we will ratify the optional protocol. What's the time frame for that? Taoiseach, I'd like to know that, because I don't believe that the government intends to do it, and unfortunately I don't believe that people with disabilities think the government intends to do it either, which is sad. And so we know that budget for disability services and the work being done with disabilities, but that's not enough. The people are being left behind, they're being ignored and they're being neglected, and I'm asking that you listen to their voices. And I would just like to leave it with some of the voices of them. People with disabilities are human too. We have feelings, we have needs. We deserve respect for what we live with and live through. Children and families are falling through ruptures, not cracks, in relation to the assessment of needs. A 2-year wait for occupational therapy for a child is just not okay. And that's the kind of things that we need to respond to, and we need to respond to properly. Thank you.
It is a very important day that you raise these disability issues. I want to thank you for raising them, and we'll be interested to see a copy of that survey if you want to pass it on to my office later on.